Okay, mate, let's not mess about. I'm going to keep you away from England, Senegal, and last couple of performances as much as humanly possible. What about some of the movement in Liverpool?
Yeah, well, there was reports last night that a fee had been agreed for Florian Wirtz, 150 million euros. Wow. I have to say that was quickly played down as being premature. I think it will happen. I think Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player in the not too distant future, but I don't think the fee will get quite as high as that. My information is Liverpool are willing to pay £100 million guaranteed, plus add-ons. The contract obviously is already agreed, no issue in terms of personal terms, and the clubs continue to negotiate. Knowing the Fenway Sports Group, I think they would be keen, if they can, to keep it under a British record fee. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual final figure is.
Kerkez, sorry, yeah. Kerkez is the one that I really like as well.
Yeah, me
Crookie.
too.
Watching Bournemouth last season, he was probably the best left back, wasn't he, in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think he was in most people's teams of the season. Yeah. Maybe Anthony Robinson at Fulham had a say on that as well. But it looks like he's on his way as well to Liverpool. Obviously has a long-standing relationship with Richard Hughes, the sporting director, who I've got to say is having a terrific summer so far. Jeremy Frimpong already in the building as well. I think this will probably get up to around 40 million. It's another player leaving the Dorset coast. Dean Howson has already joined Real Madrid, and there's every possibility Elias Abani, another central defender, ends up at PSG. So it's going to be a challenge, I think, for Bournemouth to replace those players and still try and emulate what they achieved this season.
Well, it's amazing that, because we mentioned the same thing. We're discussing earlier on, Crookie, about Brentford. If they lose Mbeumo and lose the manager, it could be a kind of similar situation. What about Chelsea? I mean, the common feeling last year was great season, won a trophy, fourth Champions League football again, which is fantastic for them, but probably could have done with strength in centre forward area, goalkeeper area, maybe centre back. They don't look as though they're finished yet.
No, well, they at least gave us a bit of drama on the mini deadline day, because they put a £42 million bid in for Jamie Gittins quite late in the day. That was rejected by Borussia Dortmund. He's now been named in their Club World Cup squad, so clearly nothing will move with Chelsea until after the tournament. They will keep negotiating. Again, I think this deal probably will happen in the end. It might even free up a space at Dortmund for Jadon Sancho, possibly to return on loan from Manchester United. And they also tried to sign Mike Mignon, goalkeeper from Milan, but the clubs couldn't agree a fee, and the message coming out of Chelsea is that one is done. Although the window reopens on June the 16th, this was very much a signing with the Club World Cup in mind. They won't revisit their interest, so at the moment it leaves Robert Sanchez as the number one heading into the new season.
Crook, I want to ask you on Mbeumo, because he's come out and said, hasn't he, that Manchester United where he wants to go, but could Thomas Frank go into Spurs, change his mind? And also, when Thomas Frank does get named, there's a lot of players you might want to get rid of out of that Spurs squad.
Well, I think they need to bring bodies in first and foremost, because Ange Postecoglou, by his own admission, struggled to balance Europa League football with the Premier League last season. That's going to be even more difficult playing in the Champions League and trying to be competitive in that competition. In terms of Mbeumo, I'm told this one is fairly advanced when it comes to Manchester United. Personal terms already in place. I don't think the two clubs are too far away in terms of agreeing a fee, and I understand the connection with Thomas Frank and the lure of Champions League football. I think he'll end up at Manchester United, and I think he'll be the next one in the door. Tottenham have held talks with Antoine Semenyo. We reported that yesterday. Another player at Bournemouth in high demand, but they're demanding a £70 million fee, is my understanding. That would be a Tottenham club record. Just not sure Daniel Levy will pay that.
Breaking news on talkSPORT.
Yes, indeed we have. Going to head straight back to Alex Crook for some very latest news from Manchester City, Crookie.
Yeah, we were talking about Manchester City and their business ahead of the Club World Cup half an hour or so ago. They have now officially confirmed the signing of Tijani Reijnders, midfielder from AC Milan. £46.5 million is the guaranteed fee, plus add-ons. He signed a 5-year contract, keeping him at Manchester City until 2030. It's their fourth signing already of this summer transfer window, and he will be on the plane heading out to that Club World Cup in the States. A versatile midfielder. He can play as a deep-lying midfielder. He can play further forward. He got 15 goals last season in what wasn't a stellar campaign for Milan, so this might well be a shrewd piece of business by Pep Guardiola.
Yep, certainly looks that way. Well, just how good a signing is this for City? Italian football expert Daniel Fisichella has everything you need to know about Reijnders.
One of Serie A best players and certainly AC Milan top performer this season, Tijani Reijnders deserves such a record-breaking fee for the Italian club. Despite AC Milan mediocrity this campaign, Reijnders' stocks have improved thanks to his greater accuracy with shooting and passing. The Dutch is one of Serie A's most beautiful players to watch, not only a playmaker but a box-to-box player. Pep Guardiola will have to work on Reijnders' ability to defend effectively, but at 26 years of age and after 15 goals and 5 assists this season, he looks more than ready for the big leap to the Premier League.
Well, I'm not hanging about City, Gab. You and I have mentioned that. They've had an excellent, kind of, not even a close season, excellent kind of signing spree. One man, another man who's a big fan of Reijnders is Roy Keane. Roy was quoted as saying he moves like a winger but thinks like a central midfielder, agile, sharp, complete. What can the kid not do? Shocks me how City have pulled it off with zero noise. Same with Cherky, 8 Nouri, at other clubs even away. I tell you what, I mean, I really like Cherky. You obviously really, I like 8 Nouri as well, but Cherky's the one.
Oh yes, 100%. Especially losing Kevin De Bruyne. But what does that say to Phil Foden? Similar positions, and I've got a team here that I mentioned earlier: Edison or Ortega in goal. You've got 8 Nouri, Gvardiol, Diaz, maybe Livramento. They're trying to get over the line as well. City. Reijnders and Rodri as your 2 centre midfielders, Cherky in front, Doku off the right, Marmoush off the left, Haaland. City are really going to have a go next season. You look at Arsenal, if they can get Sesko over the line, Arsenal will be better next season. Liverpool, Kerkez, Frimpong, Wirtz.
Well, they're all looking to improve.
You say them 3 teams are going to be fighting it out for the Premier League, and
Liverpool,
the odds say the same.
Liverpool, some good signings.
Yep.
Chelsea, look as though they're not stopping some excellent signings.
Spurs are going to get
City,
better.
Spurs
with Thomas Frank.
Arsenal, still no centre forward. They're going to get one.
They get Sesko in. So you can see why Manchester City as well will look at players. Maybe McAtee can he be one that they get some money in for and sell.
Absolutely, mate. It's an interest. Really looking forward. This is talkSPORT Breakdown. Arnold Clark's Rewards Week. Save up to £1,000 in selected cards. Do not miss out on huge saving. As you heard there, it's Ali and Gabby with you this morning. Now, most of the morning we were asking the question after the last night's poor performance versus Senegal: how much work ahead is there for England and indeed Thomas Tuchel? After the game, he was asked why the team couldn't push on after scoring so early.
50-50 ball.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.